Welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this right here. The LeBron James fan club are playing the blame game. They're out here blaming the bench. They're out here blaming the role players for not putting up enough points. Ain't this crazy? Because I was just talking about during this game, Minnesota was getting destroyed because they were overplaying on the perimeter, either on LeBron James, Luka, or Reeves. And it left the role players open, and they were hitting big shots. They were, even Reeves is a role player. You know, yeah, he's starting, but he's not a bench player. He's a role player, and he was hitting big shots. You know, the rest of these guys were hitting wide open shots, and they were killing Minnesota because Minnesota was overplaying. I said these guys were better off playing zone. If you're going to sit there and overplay and try to come and double one guy on the perimeter with the ball, you might as well just play zone defense. It don't make any sense. Let them beat you through a zone instead of just leaving guys wide the hell open. So they are blaming the role players, the bench players for not putting up enough points. Now, look at this. This is what I said in the past. LeBron James is a fake perimeter player, and this is why they went and got Luka Doncic, because they didn't have really no perimeter players. Once they shut down Reeves in the past, LeBron James could not hit those big shots in big moments. Yes, he could front run through three quarters, but he's a fake perimeter player and basically a guy who just charges the lane from the perimeter. So they figured, you know, you don't have any real great centers in this era except for, you know, I guess you could say AD to an extent, but AD was on the Lakers and Joker. So let's get rid of AD and you bring in Luka Doncic, and then you have more of a perimeter, and you don't have to worry about, you know, the center position, and you don't have any real power forwards to guard the paint. So they said, let's go ahead and go get Luka, because LeBron James really isn't that clutch perimeter player. You can shut down Reeves at times. So now, again, go get Luka. But LeBron James not being a great perimeter player, we've seen that in the past. And I said, even when they had AD, could you imagine LeBron James having a real post-up game? Because he really is a power forward, parading as a, you know, a stretch four, you know, a perimeter player, which he's really not. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he can handle the ball to a certain extent because they got rid of defense. So it makes his handles, especially when he was younger, a little bit better because they cut out defense. But what I was saying is, when they had AD, if LeBron James had a post-up game and you put AD on the post and you put LeBron James on the post, I mean, that would be unstoppable right there. Put them on each one of them on a block, and that would be unstoppable. You just dump it down to AD or you dump it down to LeBron James. You know, if you double one of them, the other one's open trying to get the rebound, or you just kick it out to the perimeter player and he hit the shot. But since LeBron James isn't a paint player, he doesn't have a post game, you know, it is what it is, and we see what it is. And them two on the post, if LeBron James really had a post game, as he should, because he's 6'9", 250, to me, they should be dominating the league, him and AD, in the paint. But that's just what it is. So, you know, you really can't, you don't have no paint post presence. All you have is a whole bunch of dudes out there on the perimeter. And you ain't going to get nothing out of that in the long run. Now, the Lakers, in their last 3 playoff series, has won 2 games. Gentleman sweep, a sweep, and this might be a gentleman sweep. So what we're going to hear, because we've been hearing this the last 2 years, the 3-1 what last 2 years? Yes, the last 2 years, the 3-1 comeback. If anybody can do it, it's LeBron James. He did it when he was with the Cavs. 3-1 comeback, that's what we're going to hear. We heard that for 2 years with Denver, and it never happened. Let's not forget, in those 2 series against Denver in 23-24, they hacked the hell out of Denver. And a lot of those games went down to the fourth quarter because they were hacking the hell out of Denver. And Denver had to do the same thing. They won against all odds, against the referees, against the play-by-play guys, you know, against the NBA. They won. So I'm just saying the 3-1 comeback is going to be in full effect again. In 22, they didn't make the playoffs with a super team. 21, I think they got bounced 4-1 by the Suns. So that's what you got. Even if you had Luka and LeBron James had a post game, that would be great. Because we forget what even post players look like. It's ridiculous. The closest post players we got today is who? I'm not for sure. Maybe Luka, Embiid at times. I'm talking about great. So Joker does play in the post at times, and he's really the only guy that has a post game. Embiid at times. So that's what I'm saying. If LeBron James has some type of post game, which he should at 256.9, basically the same height and weight as Karl Malone. Karl Malone had a great post game. But if it was like that, LeBron had a post game, you could play an inside out game. But you don't have that. So, like I said, now they're blaming the bench players. JJ Redick is talking about some foul on Luka Doncic earlier in the game, or whatever the case might be. All the fouls that the Lakers got away with during the game, there should never be no crying with the Lakers, because they cry every time they go to the basket and they miss. Even if they hit, they're crying. They want a foul. And that came back to bite them when Anthony Edwards, when the ball squirted off of him, and they said Lakers ball, but when they did the instant replay, they could see clearly what the Lakers have been doing all game, which was hacking the hell out of the Timberwolves. And that's what LeBron James did on that play. He hacked the hell out of Anthony Edwards, and the ball went off of Anthony Edwards, and they overturned that because LeBron James hacked the hell out of him. And that's what they do all game. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just crazy that players, I've seen all game, the Timberwolves either went up and missed a shot, got hacked, or they hit the shot and didn't get the M1. It's like, oh boy, LeBron James, he just needs to retire. LeBron James, retire after this. You're supposed to have $1 billion, retire. I think it was a stretch. Was he out and they was playing without him? And I think they were winning. Luka Reeves, and they get another guy that could play, be a presence in the middle. And this would either be the same team or a better team. They don't need this guy. They don't need this guy because, as we can see, their role players, their bench players can hit big shots when they're open. And that's what they were doing all game. They were killing Minnesota. The problem was this guy didn't show up in the fourth quarter. Again, there's no excuse for this guy not to show up in the fourth quarter. And like I said, if LeBron James had a post game, they could have been throwing it to him in the post. He got double, throw it back out to Luka, boom, hit a 3-pointer. I mean, this is easy fundamental basketball, and I keep trying to tell you guys, this league is rigged up to where they don't want these guys to play fundamental basketball. They don't want these guys to play on every level of what basketball was from the inception of when the game started. It's just crazy. What is this? What is this guy? This guy's just shooting threes. They don't shoot the mid range. They don't post up. They don't do none of this stuff. And like I said, they're allowed to play physical now in the playoffs. But now it doesn't make any sense to shoot all these threes with guys draped on you. Luka, yes, he's hitting a lot of shots with guys draped on him because he's a great shooter. But he's taking a lot of bad shots. He's taking a lot of bad shots. And I don't think he really has to do that because he can get to the paint and get his own shot. Because there's no great centers in this game. There's no great power. If you came through the paint back in the day, you have to go through a center and you have to go through a power forward just to get that shot off. So I'm just saying, you got the Lakers now, the media and the Lakers fans, they're blaming the role players when all I seen was those guys hitting big shots. It's not the role players and the bench players' responsibility to bring this game home. It's not the responsibility. The Lakers had this in hand. And LeBron James and Luka should have brought this home. To me, LeBron James don't have the stamina to bring this home. He don't have the clutch gene to bring this home. Luka, I don't think he has the stamina as far as stopping other players from doing what they want to do in the fourth quarter. Or Reeves, they just want these shooters out here, and they really don't have no athletic. To me, all their athletic players are role players or bench players. Those are the athletic players, but to me, they can't get their own shot. But it is what it is.